So I want to tell you guys a story about a man named Bernard Noble. Now, Bernard is a victim of the drug war, and his story is indicative of an absolutely broken system, in my opinion. So Huffington Post reports on this. They say, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal signed a bill that significantly decreases criminal penalties for marijuana possession in the state. But for some prisoners already serving time on marijuana charges, the state's old draconian drug laws continue to apply. All right, so let's pause here. In some states, they're doing this now, and the main reason why they are doing it is they have overpopulated prisons. So it's like, you know, it's a last resort option where they're like, well, I guess we got to let the people out of jail who aren't really criminals. That wacky idea. So they're doing that, but in some cases, and in Louisiana, it's a perfect example of this, they go, whoa, pump your brakes here, son. Okay, from here on out, we won't lock up people who aren't really criminals anymore, but I mean the ones we already locked up. Keep them in there, why not? So, let me give you some details as to Bernard Noble's case, and you'll see just how grotesque this is. They say, quote, take the case of Bernard Noble, a 49-year-old father of 7. Noble is serving more than 13 years behind bars. His crime? Being caught with the equivalent of 2 joints worth of marijuana in 2010. He has no chance of parole. Noble has 7 prior convictions on his record, stretching back to 1989. All of them are convictions for possession of small amounts of drugs, mostly marijuana, but 2 for cocaine. And all are non-violent. 4 misdemeanors, but 3 are felonies. So they go on to explain in the article that this guy lost his house in Katrina. Had like his whole life just destroyed. He also, they go through his job history, like he worked at a janitor at one time, he worked for some sort of curtain company, I guess, at one time. He said, my goal and my dream is to be an entrepreneur and have my own small business. 5 or 6 different jobs he worked. And he's very honest, and he says, he's like, look, I mean, I started doing drugs because it was kind of a mental escape from the shitty situation I was living in. I was living in poverty. I was fighting to get out of poverty. And you have to understand, like, if you do some cocaine every now and then, you know what happens? It boosts your mood. And you can deal with the situation that you face. Now, by the way, the sense that I get from the article is that he wasn't even really addicted. Like, this is a guy that fits into the 90% of drug users that are just normal people that can manage and take drugs. So, like, every once in a while, he would do some coke, or he would smoke some weed, and he would go about his day. And he's like, look, it just was like a little bit of a stress reliever. And then I could, not hate my shitty janitor's job when I'm trying to become an entrepreneur and work my way up the ladder. So, when you learn about this guy's personal history, it humanizes him where you go, oh my God, what are we doing? Logically, this is no different than taking somebody who likes to drink whiskey, likes to drink Jack Daniels or a couple Coronas after work, taking that person and locking them up. Or somebody who, 2 or 3 times a week at work, they have panic attacks, they take Papa Xanax, and then they go about their day and they say, hey, it de-stressed me. Why would we take that person and put that person in jail? But it's the same thing in this case. But what's the difference in this case? Call it what it is. This guy's black. Now, it's just the reality of the situation that the drug war is used primarily to crack down on minority communities. That's why there's a book out about this called The New Jim Crow. We just changed the system of oppression from overt oppression, whether you're talking about slavery or Jim Crow, or official second-class citizenship. We took that and we turned it into, we can't legally do that anymore. I mean, that's too egregious. So, okay, I guess we just criminalize the lifestyle of many people in the black community. Now, again, here's where some conservatives say, oh, well, I don't need to stop doing drugs and stuff, man. Really? So you don't do any substances at all on a daily basis? The overwhelming majority of people do. I hope you know caffeine is a drug. I hope you know Monster Energy is a drug. I hope you know Red Bull is a drug. I hope you know, like I just said, Xanax is a drug. I hope you know Adderall is a drug. I hope you know all these different substances, alcohol, all this stuff. These are all drugs. Some are sanctioned by the state, some are not. And When you look at the statistics, black and white people use illegal drugs at similar rates, but black people get arrested 4 times more often for it. So you see that all the people who are locked up as a result of the drug war, if they did nonviolent crimes, they're just regular people who have had their lives ruined. Now, here's my proposal. You either fix this, or you stop saying you believe in freedom. Because this is fundamentally anti-freedom. You can't be for the drug war, you can't be for drug criminalization, and also say, I believe in freedom and I believe in individual liberty. No, you don't. It's one or the other.